guys, how's it going? Today we want to give you a 1-month update on our containers that we have planted here on the east side of our house. This is a container competition that Aaron and I are having. I planted up 5 of the pots, Aaron planted up 5, and so far they're looking pretty good.
They're looking pretty good.
You know what's not looking great?
What? Yeah, right.
The grass. I think when we planted these a month ago, the grass was still green out here. But, you know, we're working out the water situation and all of that for this space, and so we're not irrigating this for now. So we're just going to have to focus on the plants. Ignore that. Ignore all the dead behind it.
Yeah.
So the first container here is Aaron's.
Yeah, so we have Sparkling Rose. Is that what the pink one is called?
Yeah.
And then Sparkling Amethyst, Superbena. Both of these are Superbenas. And I think if I remember correctly, I did 3 Sparkling Rose, 3 Sparkling Amethyst, and then 3 Queen Tut grasses. And the Queen Tuts they're not doing a whole lot so far, although, you know, we haven't been super hot so far.
Right.
And a lot of these plants, a lot of times they really like heat to really bulk up. I mean, we just had that cool down where our highs were like, what, 60, 65?
Right, low was 40.
Yeah.
Just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. So anyway, I think, you know, it's like 89 today, I think. So they'll get bigger. I'm happy with it. I don't like how it lulls out over here.
I think I've noticed that on Superbena more this year than I have in past years, and that could just be a weather thing maybe. Yeah. But something I like about this that you chose the 3 grasses, I think was very smart.
Yeah.
In an application this large, do you remember the diameter of this? Is it 31-inch opening?
I think so.
Yeah, you need to have something that's like, you don't need to, but if you want to make a statement with the centerpiece, you kind of need to like bulk it up a little bit.
You know, if you look from my perspective, there's a lot of the Sparkling Amethyst that like looks like it's looking at me.
I guess, yeah, let's look at both sides here. Oh yeah, look at that. So this is the south side of the pot. That's interesting. Yeah. South side, and then the side we were just looking at is north side. That is tremendously different.
Yeah. So it's it looks good from this perspective.
Yeah, it does.
And it's definitely bulked up from when we planted, for sure.
So that's container number 1. Are we going to vote today? A 1-month vote?
I think you win, but we'll get there.
Okay, container number 2 is mine. I noticed a tremendous amount of growth on this, and I think you're right in that this perspective is a little bit more beefy. I don't know. In the center here, we've got a purple fountain grass, and I'm thankful that it's kind of holding its own so far. Again, once we get this consistent heat, it's just going to explode. But I surrounded it with 6 plants. So there are 2 Supertunia Saffron Finch, 2 I did 9. I did 3 of each. So there's 3 of that one, 3 of the Supertunia Persimmon, and 3 of the Supertunia Black Cherry, right?
I wrote notes on all the plants, and Laura said, "Oh, I won't need notes."
Usually I can remember the plant names. I think I got that right. So 9 Supertunias in all. None of these Supertunias are vistas though. So I thought, well, maybe we can get away with it. Hindsight, you know, you could probably do 6, 2 of each. But it sure did make for a quick display of beautiful color. So container number 2. I guess I should mention that all of these except for one are full sun, like all day full sun. The one at the very end I planted up and it's more for a shade. So all of them up to that one will be full sun loving plants. All right, Aaron's turn. Container number 3. Do you think you can recall what you put in this one?
Let me think. 1 bubble gum.
It is really filling it up.
Yeah, it's doing really well compared to the last time we planted it up or last time we showed it. I've noticed that a couple of these are kind of a little splotchy.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what the deal with that is, but the plant looks super healthy.
It
and
does.
I suspect that here in just another couple weeks with some heat, this will kind of explode and it'll probably be this tall and fill up the whole container.
Yeah, it will. Container number 4. On this one, I used a plain the blue salvia as our centerpiece. And if you saw the first one, and maybe we have video that we're going to flash back to, it was itty bitty and you could hardly see it between all of these Dusty Miller. This is the new look Dusty Miller. I started these from a seed, not this spring, but the spring before. I used them in containers last year. I dug them out. Oh, there's bees all over the salvia. I wintered them over in the greenhouse and then brought them back out and thought they might make a really pretty second layer in this container arrangement, and boy, are they beautiful. I just think they're so pretty. You can see they're happy. They've got buds. They're gonna start to bloom yellow. This one's in bloom right here. We'll just let them do their thing. Around the outside, I used 3 each of Sparkling Amethyst, which these, like, This one looks great. And then there's the Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo. Again, you can see some of the aged blooms look a little bit more light in color, but overall really beautiful. I think right now,
This one wins.
I don't know, this might be one of my favorite, but there's a couple more that look really, really like outstanding at this point in the season. Now we have been spraying either Captain Jack's or BT once a week. So I think they've got it, what, 3 or 4 times at this point. It's been 4 weeks, so 4 times. And they get a water-soluble fertilizer once a week. We use a Proven Winners water soluble because it has chelated iron in it, which keeps specifically the Supertunia leaves nice and deep green. So that's what we've been doing for care. Otherwise, they're on a drip system, but super happy, especially with the growth of this, because sometimes it's faith in planting and you do something that looks a little backward and you have to wait for it to kind of fulfill that vision that you have. Y'all brushed up on this one? Hot number 5?
So, yeah. Okay, I used 5 Saffron Finch in this one.
So pretty.
These are looking really good. I used 3 of the sweet, what is it?
Sweet Caroline Sweetheart
Lime, yeah. I can never remember that.
It's a mouthful.
And then 3 Bordeaux, or 4 Bordeaux. Is there just 3 in here?
It looks like 3. But that is such a pretty mix, Aaron.
Overall, I'm really happy with this. I would like if these didn't bush up quite as much and trailed just a little bit more. But hopefully here in a little bit, the Supertunias will kind of bulk up a little bit more and these will trail out a bit.
I think they will. That's a really pretty blend. It looks very cheerful and bright.
Yeah, it does. I'm happy with that.
Okay, so this next one is just kind of a profusion of pink and I'm loving it. I used 3 of the Carolee Petite Gara as our centerpiece. Again, kind of like with your Queen Tut, I felt like in a container this big, a Carolee Petite Gara stays on the small-ish side. So I thought having 3 in here would make it look appropriate in ratio to the size of the container. So that's what we have kind of popping out of the canopy of Supertunias down below. It just gives it that movement and that just beautiful magical quality. And then I surrounded it. I think I only used 3 Supertunia Vista bubblegum. And they look really good. I feel like there is a little color mutation here, but not much. See that right there? Most of them are the true bubblegum pink. And it's just a very happy looking container, I
The
think.
leaves look really nice and green. They look really healthy.
They do.
So that's good.
No yellowing, which is, some years we struggle with that.
Yeah.
But this year, these seem to be doing really well. Oh, we're getting more overcast. That's nice. I really like this one.
For this one, I did 1, which actually is like filling out really well.
Yeah, it's big.
1 Rockin' Play in the Blue Salvia. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, I said it
Yep.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did 4 of the Double Twilight Superbells and 4 of the Double White.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that correctly?
You did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Double White and Double Twilight. You know, the Twilight is not all that punchy. It's pretty...
I think it looks soft and delicate.
Yeah, it's... I think I probably prefer if this was a little bit darker.
Sure.
So, I don't know. You know what might have looked better is if I did all of the Double White and didn't even have this. I don't know. It's fine.
I think it's really pretty. This is one of my favorites. I think I just like how soft it looks, and it's just pleasant.
Yeah.
It's not like too bright. But this side, it's crazy to me how much the south side, we should have gone this opposite direction. We started over there.
Yeah.
Should have moved this way instead. But yeah, all the color over here is looking really nice. I tend to struggle with Superbells, you know this.
Yeah.
So the fact that these look good.
These are looking pretty good. A lot of Superbells can tend to yellow really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And again, these have a little bit of yellowing, but not a lot.
Where? I don't
Well,
even
over here,
see.
they're just not as dark
Oh,
as the Supertunias.
I think
Like
they
the
look
leaves?
really healthy.
No, I think they are. I think they're pretty healthy.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
This one's looking really good. So I used a perennial grass, ornamental grass in here. It's a Panicum called Niagara Falls. Now this one will grow like 4x4 in the landscape, and it's got these really wide, bold leaves that are kind of like a bluish green. And then the bloom seed heads up top, they're kind of this profusion, and they are really soft and wispy, like they move really nicely in the wind, but they're kind of firework shaped. I think it's just a really interesting look. Then we can take this out later and pop it in the landscape. Around the outside, we've got the Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid. Those
That's great.
They're a performer.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, if you get in here and look at the leaves, like, look at the size of the leaves here.
Yeah.
They're
Boy,
just,
that's interesting.
They're huge,
Yeah, I'm kind of shading it.
and they're really round.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that not all Supertunias have the same type of leaf structure.
No, this one's just really nice. I mean, it's already climbing up the grass.
Yeah.
So, and that's just 1 month after planting, and I think I used 5. I'm pretty sure I used 5, which maybe in the hindsight I could have got away with less, but it's fun to have them look so full this early. Okay, your last container here.
All right, this one's doing really well.
It is.
I think I used 7 lemon coral and then 3 of the Petite pink Gara.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. And they look great.
I don't think you could ask for better performance
Yeah.
out of the plants that you chose for this one. I mean, those Gara are thick.
Yeah, these
And
are
so
thick.
is this.
The lemon coral, I love how it's kind of like rubbery, like super soft and rubbery.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
You just want to touch it.
Yeah.
Pet the sedum. That's
It doesn't
really
hurt it
pretty.
to touch it, right? I know you're
No.
not supposed to touch succulents.
Well,
but
not the ones with the powdery coating.
Yeah.
Those are fine. And those are on the same exact water as everything else.
This
They're-
is like a sensory plant for kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or for me.
Yeah. Aaron gets out here.
Either I'm just out here touching it.
Yeah. I just think it's a really cool plant when it can be a succulent like this and take all the water that everything else gets
Yeah.
and not care. It's a very adaptable plant. It's also very adaptable to different light. It can take full-on sun, which it does take on more of a yellow tinge, kind of like
Yeah.
the sunburst locust there.
Like, look over here.
Yeah, that side gets
It'll kinda do
strong
that.
morning sun. In more shady areas, it turns a little bit more light,
Yeah.
which I actually kind of
A
like.
little
that
less
color.
lemon.
Yeah.
It's like it's more lime in the shade and a little more lemon.
which looks
in the
cooler
sun.
to me.
Yeah.
I think it's really pretty.
Yeah.
And this last container, I'm not sure it's put on any growth at all. I'll tell you one thing. I am not impressed with Persian shields at all. Look at these. They're just all burning up. This gets protection from, not from wind, so maybe that's our problem.
What's eating all these?
Well, probably earwigs. I need to get some bait in here. So this is probably the worst looking pot. This one's gonna be voted least likely to succeed, probably. I think the containers that I did pretty much exactly like this up by the balcony doors look better than this one. They are more protected, so maybe that's what that one has going for it. But yeah, I honestly didn't know that these were being eaten until right this very minute. So I haven't baited at all in this container. I don't think the begonias have really put on much growth. Again, I think that could be heat related. But the Persian shields, I'm about ready to pop them out and put something else in
Yeah.
because they just are not performing anywhere I put them. In those other pots, they looked a tiny bit better than these. And then up by our back kitchen entrance where I put them in the ground, they get a lot more sun because the tag says full sun. And they look horrible. So, it was an experiment for me, and it's an experiment that now I don't have to, try again.
Yeah, sure.
Had to try it at some point.
Well, not every plant works in every area.
True. But I need to go get bait. Maybe I should do that right now.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, Bug and Slug Killer, this is what I use in situations like this. It's just like this little grain. And this is good for snails and slugs, earwigs, cutworms. There's other things on the label, but typically when I see this kind of damage, it's usually earwigs. That's our main culprit. So I'm just going to spread it around these plants on the soil surface, and it lasts for quite a long time, like several weeks, but I'm gonna have to check up on it. I think we should run up to the pots that I planted the same arrangement in, check those to see if those are being eaten as well.
It's organic, right?
Yeah.
What's the active?
It's a iron phosphate and spinosad.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay, let's go check the other ones quick. Well, I guess quick update on these right here. Plain the Blue Salvia, Supertunia Saffron Finch, and the Superbeas Cobalt and Superbeas Sparkling Amethyst. I think this is a super pretty blend of plants right here. The other one's doing great too. That one doesn't get quite as much light, so I'm thrilled to see everything's looking robust and full of color.
Yeah, it looks great.
My word. Okay, so the same plants. See, the Persian shields look a little less stressed up here. And the wire vine's going nuts.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Isn't that, like, it's climbing.
Yeah.
I haven't helped it. I'm just helping it right now, but I haven't helped it up to this point.
Are you going to bait?
Um,
Or is it not necessary?
I don't think it's necessary. I don't see, look at these. Look how much better these look.
Yeah.
No insect damage, and I'm not going to bait just to bait.
Isn't it interesting how, somebody might plant some of these things and just be like, oh, junk plants or
Yeah.
something, But it's like, it just depends on, even in the same garden, 50 yards away,
Right.
you can have really different luck with it.
Yep. And this, like the Persian shield here, you can see it's even put on more growth. So maybe these will kind of come out of the funk, and maybe those will as well. But I don't like things that take most of the season to come out of their shell. I like things to be looking good pretty much from the first day, because otherwise there's not like a tremendous amount of point in planting them if you don't get to enjoy them for more than half the season. So anyway, it is a pretty color though. I really, really want them to do well. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. We just wanted to take some time, walk through these containers, and make sure to keep you updated on their growth. We had a overcast moment, which doesn't happen very often, and I think that's the only thing that's going to make this background even slightly doable. So again, try to ignore the dead grass behind it. Imagine a nice green lush pasture behind it, because that's what will be there one day.
Maybe not next year. Maybe not even the year after that,
We'll
but one
see.
day.
At least there's some pretty things to distract your eye.
Yeah.
Thank you again for watching. We will see you in the next video. Bye. This is sap that I cannot get off my hands. I need to go inside and use some annex. I look filthy.